ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। पादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नित्यानंद नमस्तुभ्यं प्रेमानंदप्रदायिने कलौकल्मषनाशाय ज्ञानवापते नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामने गौरतुसे नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we welcome everyone for today's discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So last time we discussed from chapter second and verse number 33, 34. Akirtim chapi bhutani kathayishyanti tyavayam sambhavitasya cha kirtir maranadati richate. People will speak, always speak of your infamy. And for a respectable person, dishonor is worse than death. So this we discussed. So Lord Krishna gave the final judgment that it is better for Arjuna to die while fighting in this battlefield. That will be glorious for him rather than living, avoiding this fight and living in this material world. Because such kind of living and avoiding the fight will create a blasphemous situation for Arjuna. People will blaspheme him, and this infamy uh, will be worse than death. It's better to die while fighting the battle. So next, Krishna says, भयाद्रणादुपरतं मंसन्ते त्वां महारथा येषां च त्वं बहुमतो भूत्वा यास्यसि लाघवम्. The great generals who have highly esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only, and thus they will consider you insignificant. So, when Krishna is mentioning about this, that uh, it's better that you uh, fight in this battle because साता च चेत्त्वमेवं धर्म्यं संग्रामं न करिष्यसि तथा तथा स्वधर्मं कीर्तिं च हित्वा पापम अवाप्स्यसि. You will get papa, sinful reaction. So Arjuna might think that I am avoiding this fight not because of cowardice. Akirtim chapi bhutani. People will speak of you, uh, speak about you in famous words. They will blaspheme you. So, so uh, Arjuna might think that I'm not leaving this battlefield because of fear, but because of compassion. But Krishna says, in this battlefield, which has already been started, so if you run away from this battlefield, so people will think bhayad ranad uparatam. Because if you were having compassion, then why you came to this battlefield? You must have shown compassion before coming to the battlefield. Why you accepted the fight? Before only you should have just told. But now you have come in the battlefield and counsels have been blown from both the sides. So that means this was indicated that both the parties are now ready for fighting. And both the parties are now ready to fight. And Arjuna, she requested Krishna that you please put the chariot in between the two armies. And Krishna did this. And as soon as Arjuna saw, he observed the armies in front of him, then he started thinking that, oh, I should not kill them. I should better leave this battlefield. So in that situation, if Arjuna leaves, Krishna is telling, don't think that all those warriors present there, they will think that you are running away from the battle because of compassion for them. No, they will directly understand that because you have observed that armies in front of you and you got fearful. You are fearful, that's why you are running away. So in this way, they will blaspheme you. That such a great warrior, the whole world considered the person who was considered to be a great warrior by so many people all over the world, but actually he is not a great warrior. Just see how he is running away in this battlefield. So in this way, people will blaspheme you. So, and this kind of blasphemy will be completely intolerable to you because you are a Kshatriya. For any person, this is a general natural behavior for any conditioned soul, not for liberated soul. But any conditioned soul, it is natural to become very angry if somebody has not committed some mistake and if that mistake is pointed out. If somebody has good intention, if somebody with good intention did something and the other person misunderstood it, and then because of misunderstanding he blasphemes the other person, then it's natural. The person will feel hurt and he will become angry. And this is one of the most prominent reason why there is so many relationship breakups happen. Why in this material world any kind of relationship cannot last long because of this miscommunication, misunderstanding, and then they feel very hurt, broken hearted. So Krishna is pointing out the same thing to Arjuna, that Arjuna, you if you leave this battlefield, you are leaving this battlefield because of compassion, because you do not wish to kill all those persons, but and you may be very generous, magnanimous, that okay, you will live simply by begging. That also I accept, although this is not possible because you are a Kshatriya. So you cannot live like this. You have lived from the beginning, from your childhood. You have lived in a very royal way. Everyone respected you. You were famous as great warriors, and you lived like princess. Um, but still, you are thinking that okay, I will manage to live in this world simply by begging. Will become bigger. Okay, that might be possible. But how will you deal such situation when you go for begging and the people will say, just see the great warrior Arjuna has come who left the battlefield out of fear. So when they will say like this, what how will you respond to them? Who will listen to you that you have left the battlefield out of compassion, not out of fear? Nobody will accept. And at that point of time, you will be unable to tolerate this. Uh, and this will be worse than death. So Krishna is predicting future situation. That's why it's very necessary. Whatever decision we take in this world, we should think about the future also. Sometimes it happens because of um, in immediate circumstances, immediately because of some emotions, out of emotions, people they may take certain decision which will eventually be very harmful to them. It happens. So Arjuna, he got afflicted with so much emotional attachment for his friends and relatives, and that's why he decided that I will not fight. I will live by begging. But this is just an emotional sentimental decision. And this will not give Arjuna real peace or real happiness in this world. That's why Krishna is predicting his future life. That yeah, people will speak like this, they will speak ill about you, and you will be unable to tolerate it, and that will be the worst condition, worse than that will become worse than death. You may even commit suicide because you will become so frustrated. So one important lesson we learn from this, any decision taken out of material attachment, if somebody has material attachment and because of being carried away by the emotions uh, generated from material attachments, if somebody takes any decision in this world, definitely in the future he is going to repent over it, lament over it. Many times it happens. Such situations are faced by especially these younger generation youth. They face many times this kind of situation because of some certain material attachments. They become overpowered by emotions, and they take bad wrong decisions, and then they have to suffer. uh, they think that, oh, because of emotions I just choose this path, and then this is the situation. This also happens with the devotee youth also sometimes. Devotee youth, he gets a nice opportunity to fully dedicate himself for the service of Krishna. He understands the philosophy very well, but because of being too much attachment for his relatives, parents, and he is just carried away because of material emotions generated from material attachments, and he says, Prabhuji, this is my responsibility. My father, my mother, my relatives, who will take care of them? And in this way, he takes a bad decision, wrong decision, and he gets married. Then after a few years, he realizes, oh, nobody take cares of nobody else. It is all the Supreme Lord is maintaining everyone. I just became Balika Bakra. And then he repents like anything. But हो गया. और फिर क्या बोलते हैं, वो कहावत है ना, अब पछताए होत क्या जब सीधा ये तो गए तो हाँ पछता लिया. आपको मालूम है कहावत ना, तो वो आपके साथ नहीं होना चाहिए. यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस फैक्ट वेरी नाइसली. Don't take any decision so that later on you will have to uh, lament, repent over this. Similarly, another case happens sometimes. These young boys and girls, they become attracted to each other, they become attached to each other. But if there is no matching at all, no matching at all, but because of excessive attachment, then they decide we live for each other. And then they leave home, and then they live together. And afterwards, after a few months, they realize, oh, this was a big mistake. We just got attached on bodily platform because of material lust. Few, just few meetings together, few chatting together, and we became emotionally attached, and we took such a bad decision to live together whole life. But there was actually no match. Then they realize, and then there is divorce. Why are so many divorce? These things go on happening. So that's why the lesson we learn from this Arjuna's case, this verse, that one should not take decisions based on the emotions or feelings generated because of material attachments. But one should use knowledge. Based on knowledge, transcendental knowledge, one should take the decision. But of course, one can 100%, one can take full decision because of emotions or sentiments or feelings generated for Krishna's attachment, for attachment for Krishna, spiritual attachment. If you have developed spiritual attachment for the Supreme Lord, and because of those emotions, if you take decision, then it's all right. Just like sometimes it happens, from youth boy, he becomes very much attracted to Krishna consciousness movement, and he develops very nice attachment for Krishna. And then he thinks, what is this nonsense? All material attachments I should give up, and I should simply surrender to Krishna. So although he is not fully mature in bhakti, but still he takes decision, though that goal of life is to become a lover of Krishna. So why should I become a lover of somebody else? Uh, so I should fully dedicate my life to Krishna. So this decision can be taken. That is allowed. Uh, Even if he fails, still there will be no loss, no lamentation, because he has taken the right path. So decisions taken out of spiritual attachments. If somebody has developed spiritual attachments either for the Supreme Lord or for his pure devotee, the spiritual master guru, and he decides out of those spiritual attachments, then in that situation also one gets some emotions, sentiments, and because of those sentiments and emotions, if somebody takes some decision, so that is always beneficial. But because of material attachments, if you uh, become overpowered by some kind of emotional feelings, and then if you decide something, then you will always repent over this. So Krishna is very nicely pointing out this, that think about the future also, Arjuna, then you take decision. All these people will speak very ill words about you. They will say you have run away from the battle because of fear. Mamsente tvam maharatha. All those people, they all those maharatha generals. Yesham cha tvam bahumatha. Bahumatha means in great estimation. All these people have been looking up to you with great estimation. That Arjuna is such a great warrior. So all these people will bhutva yasyasi laghavam. Uh, they will decrease your value, and then you will be unable to tolerate it. Especially a person who has good fame and name and fame. Uh, and if all those people who earlier respected him very much, appreciated him very much, and glorified him, but later on, if all those people they start blaspheming, decrease the value, then this becomes very, very intolerable. So Krishna is pointing like this, that all these generals, warriors who are saluting, who were saluting you till now because of considering you a great warrior. If you leave the battlefield, all these people will blaspheme you, and this will be not good. So Lord Krishna continued to give his verdict to Arjuna. Do not think that the great generals like Duryodhana, Karna, and other contemporaries will think that you have left the battlefield out of compassion for your brothers and grandfather. They will think that you have left out of fear for your life, and thus their high estimation of your personality will go to hell. Their high estimation of your personality will go to hell. So this is what Krishna is telling in this verse. So, and then not only this, they will also say, speak ill words. Avachyavadam shabahum vadishyanti tavahita nindantastav samarthyam tato dukkhataram nukim. Your enemies will describe you in many unkind words and scorn your ability. What could be more painful for you? So Lord Krishna was astonished in the beginning at Arjuna's uncalled for uh, plea for compassion, and he described his compassion as befitting the non-Aryans. Now, in so many words, he has proved his statements against Arjuna's so-called compassion. So, Arjuna, not only these people will decrease your name, fame, value, respect, but they will start conversing with each other. They will start speaking ill about you in all your YouTube channels, Instagram, WhatsApp, everywhere. The only news will go on that Arjuna left the battlefield because of fear. So how will you be able to tolerate that? Avachya vadamsha bahun. Bahun means many, many, many unkind. Avachya means unkind. Vachya means those words which should be spoken. Means sweet words, polite words, pleasing words, kind words. And avachya means avachya. Those words which are not supposed to be spoken. Unkind words, harsh words. So Krishna is saying avachya bahun. Many unkind words will be spoken by all those warriors who were respecting you till now very much. And vadams means avachya vadams shabahun. Vadams means fabricated words. They will fabricate their own stories, words, and they will speak so much ill about you, uh, which you have not even done. They will manufacture their own masala laga के बोलेंगे. That is the meaning. Vadishyanti tavahita. Vadishyanti, they will say like this. That means during Krishna's time also, 5,000 years back, in the Upper Yuga also, these things were happening. So this is an eternal principle. And this material world is so third class place that this always goes on. If you do any bad decision you take, you will be scolded again and again, so many times, by so many relatives, friends, and people, and with these badams, fabricated words, masala लगा के बहुत बहुत कुछ ऐसे scold करते. This we know how people just like if a devotee, if a youth He is taken Krishna consciousness very seriously, and he practices very nicely. If somehow or other, if in his material life he is unable to do even slightest, if he does even slightest mistake, uh, then avachya they start, all these relatives and friends who are not non-devotees, they start speaking so many fabricated words, unkind words. So these things one has to tolerate them. But for Arjuna case, Krishna is predicting this, his future. So vadishyanti tava ahita. Ahita means enemies. And nindantas tava samarthyam. And they will also doubt upon your ability uh, to perform. Nindantas means while vilifying, means while blaspheming, they will also give their conclusion that Arjuna is no more now capable of fighting. He has lost his samarthyam. He has become important. Krishna in the beginning also he said, Klabhyam maiskama partha naitattvayupapadyate. So Krishna himself told Arjuna in the beginning of second chapter that give up this impotency, get up and fight. So Arjuna might not understand. So now Krishna is telling, it's not that Arjuna, I am saying you that you give up this impotency. If you leave this battlefield, all your fan followers, all these your followers, warriors who are glorifying you till now, they will also start saying this, that you have become important. You have lost your samarthya to fight. That's why out of fear you have run away from this battlefield. So in that situation, tato dukkataram nu kim, what can be more painful than this for you, Arjuna? What can be more painful than this? Similarly, a devotee, if he loses the opportunity when the proper opportunity is there to perform devotional service, the right time is, this is the right time when you are young and you have gotten the opportunity to practice Krishna consciousness, fully surrender to Krishna. If you do not use this opportunity and you run away from this because of having some insignificant petty material attachments, Krishna told in the beginning of the chapter that give up this insignificant petty material attachment. Shudram hriday dauravalyam. Give up this insignificant weakness of heart. This is not at all such a big thing for which you are sacrificing such a great battle, dharma yuddha. Similarly, when a devotee, especially a young devotee, one who is a young devotee, uh, 18 years, 20, 25 years, 30 years, up to this age, if he gets the opportunity to become fully Krishna conscious, especially those who are boys devotees, boys, unmarried boys. So they are very, very fortunate. If they have got this opportunity, and because of some insignificant material attachments, what is material attachment? This just lust, some kind of lust, and some kind of little bit attachment for parents. Actually, attachment for parents is not the big deal. That is not the main thing. But the lusty desires, a young boy, he cannot control it. And because of being unable to control some kind of this flickering material lusty desires, if he decides to avoid practicing or surrendering fully to Krishna, then that kind of decision is actually will be very painful in the future. He will have to repent, lament over this. Uh, and uh, and there are examples. Many devotees, they share like this, that in our young days, if we would have just controlled it little bit, and if we would have fully surrendered to Krishna, our life would have changed. But now we got entangled completely, and now it's so opportunities, when opportunities, proper opportunity at the proper time when it comes, we should never give it up. We should take full advantage of it. uh. Otherwise, there will be tato dukkataram nukim. There will be nothing more painful than this. So Krishna is telling, Lord Krishna was astonished in the beginning at Arjuna's uncalled for plea for compassion, and he described his compassion as befitting the non-Aryans. Non-Aryans means a person who does not know the value of life. Similarly, a devotee who decides to leave devotional service to Krishna and goes back to the activities of Maya, that means he is a non-Aryan. He does not understand the value of devotional service. And and now in so many words, he has proved his statements against Arjuna's so-called compassion. So Krishna is proving it, whatever he told in the beginning of the chapter. That and he is requesting, he is instructing Arjuna that give up this insignificant weakness of heart and be established in performing devotional service very nicely. Do not get attached to these petty material things of this material world. These are just temporary things. We should overcome this and just tolerate it. Krishna already told this. Tamsi Tikshasa Bharata. You are feeling some attachment because of this. You are deciding to give up such a great duty. This is not at all suitable. This is not at all good, Arjuna. You should, whatever attachments you are feeling, just tolerate it and execute your dharma. You will eventually overcome those attachments. Similarly, while performing our Krishna consciousness duty, which is a supreme occupational duty, supreme dharma for all the living entities, so if the obstacle of material attachments, if material attachments for anything or any one of this material world, if those material attachments come as an obstacle, so we should try very hard, try our best and take help from devotees and the Supreme Lord and remove those obstacles from our path of Krishna consciousness, path of fully surrendering to Krishna. And if for the time being, if we are unable to overcome those attachments, so we should simply just try to tolerate it, understanding the very fact that the value of performing Krishna consciousness business or value of fully surrendering to Krishna has got much, much higher value than this catering to this insignificant material attachments. Just like a student who is preparing for some competitive examination. So he tolerates all kinds of bodily difficulties. At night he has to study for long hours, so he gets the sleep. But he understands that if I can tolerate this sleep right now, and I can very nicely prepare the examination, then I will get selected. I will get much better life. What will I get if I sleep? Uh, Sleeping means ignorance, nothing else. There is no happiness at all in sleeping. But the person who is in ignorance or whose consciousness is not afflicted or who has not developed complete sense of transcendental knowledge, he thinks that, okay, let me sleep, go into ignorance. And while chanting Hare Krishna, when he gets sleep, he goes to bed and sleeps. In the morning, when the time is to get up and chant Hare Krishna, he does not get up. He goes to bed and sleeps. So this is a great loss, because if you sacrifice your attachments, uh, then you get something better, far better than accepting those attachments, far better than this. So similarly, those who are intelligent devotees, those who are intelligent, they are ready, they are willing to give up any kind of attachments. And if they cannot give up, still they are willing to tolerate it till the time these attachments are not completely removed from the heart. By understanding completely that the thing or the success which I will get by fully surrendering to Krishna is far better and far superior than maintaining these insignificant material attachments, which is only actually only and only sources of miseries. There is no happiness at all. So no Buddha, na teshu ramate Buddha. Krishna says, यही संस्पर्श जा भोगा दुख यो न एवते आदि अंतवंत कौन्तेय न तेषु रमते Buddha. Buddha means those who are intelligent. They do not take pleasure in the activities of sense gratification, knowing well that all kinds of sense gratification results only in miseries, miserable situation. Or in the Bhagavatam, as Prahlad Maharaj says, Kandu yena eva dukkha bhajam, bahu dukkha bhajam. It's like itching sensation. Especially Prahlad Maharaj says about sex pleasure. So it's like itching sensation and it results into bahu dukkha bhajam, very, very miserable situation. but the itching sensation is there. So that what you say, that impetus is there just to itch it. Uh, But if somebody can tolerate it for the timing, then he is relieved from Bahu Dukkha Bhajam, the great miseries. Prabhupada gives example. When there is itching sensation, so being unable to tolerate it, you scratch and then there is blood. Then there is blood comes out. Then it becomes very painful. Similarly, any kind of sense gratification, if you cannot tolerate it and you just do it, then there is miseries, dukkha, Bahu Dukkha Bhajam. But if somebody can tolerate the urges of his mind and senses and attachments and go on executing his Krishna conscious business, over the period of time, this itching sensation is just gone. This attachments and desire for sense gratification is completely removed from the heart, and he gets the pure form of Krishna consciousness, very blissful and happy life. Huh? Just like you see the difference. हाँ डिफरेंस दिख रहा है. हाँ दिख रहा है ना. हाँ. So you should adopt this life, no? Why to unnecessary getting bewildered? ठीक है, okay. Anyway, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. You have any questions, you can ask.